Hey garden nerds! One real quick announcement before we get to today's video. I'm really excited to share with you I have a new online course coming up, and it's going to be released at the end of February 2024. If you go to gardenerd.com and search for planning list, you'll find where you can sign up to find out more information. What's this class all about? It's all about learning how to plan your garden ahead of time every season for the rest of your gardening days, using all the tricks and tips that I use in my business with all of my clients and students every single season. So go to gardenerd.com and check that out. Now, on with the video. So sometimes, speaking of clients, I get a message from my clients who say, hey, my mint plant died, can you bring me another one? And my first response is, of course, yes, I will. And then I think about it a little bit and I'm like, wait a minute, it's probably not dead, it just needs to be refreshed. So today's video is all about showing you how to take something that looks pretty much dead and turning it into a revitalized, beautiful, thriving mint plant all over again. With just a few tools, some fresh potting soil and either a tarp or a trough like this, you're gonna be on your way in no time. Let's get started. There are a couple of things to know about mint. The first is, it is technically perennial and it's a spreader. So I don't recommend planting it in the ground unless you want mint in everything. Keep it in a pot, and that pot should be anywhere between 12 and 15 inches in diameter and deep. It really wants some room to grow, so give it enough room in a big enough pot. The second thing you need to know about mint is that it goes dormant. It doesn't look good all the time. There are usually, over winter, a time when it doesn't look like it's alive at all, and sometimes toward the end of summer, or if you have a really dry summer, earlier in the summer, when it's gonna look like it's dead. Don't worry, it's not dead. Mint is almost impossible to kill. I know some people have killed it, I've probably killed mint, but really, if you do this trick that I'm about to show you, you're gonna have the best mint all the time, forever. The first thing you'll probably notice about your mint plant is it might have some brand new tiny little growth in around the perimeter. Mint tends to spread out and the roots tend to start to circle. So you'll see new growth around the edges, but not in the middle. That's a good sign. The plant's still alive. We just have to thin things out and freshen up the root ball, and then it's gonna take off again. So let's do that. So for the sake of keeping things clean, I've placed my mint pot inside this trough here, so it's gonna catch any soil. I'm not gonna, get it all over the place. But the first thing I like to do is take a hand trowel and you're basically loosening it from the pot, going around the edges and just sticking the hand trowel down and around, all the way around the edges. Then you're going to tip it over and dump it out. If it doesn't slide out of the pot really easily, literally stick your hand in there and just start pulling roots out. This is a very resilient plant. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and pull it out. You reach in and grab, and you'll start to see how the roots are really just wrapped around the outside. So we're pulling those away. Whoop! From the edge of the pot, and eventually it's all coming out right here. And what you might find is that some pieces come loose. So if you have a piece like this come loose, let me show you what that looks like. So if a piece comes loose like this, save it. It's got the mint on the end and a pretty good root system right here. So we're gonna replant this. Once you've lifted out the entire thing, woohoo! This is good soil and we can reuse it. Once you get the root ball out of the pot, you're gonna notice that there's this kind of cylinder, sort of circular pattern on these roots, and we wanna break those up. Ideally, you're going to take these little leaves that are showing, the stems with leaves, and just follow the roots down and grab some pieces that have roots and snip those off and set them aside. You only need maybe 2 or 3 pieces to revitalize an entire pot. Find these pieces that have just buds with new leaves growing on them, and take your shears and cut a piece. And that's going to be enough. That's even way more than I would give it. that's going to be enough to restart your whole plant. At this point, you can, if your soil still looks good, just take the root ball and sort of shake the good soil back into the pot. Or, if your soil doesn't look good, look at all these roots. Look at these roots. This is going to go somewhere else. Now, my soil is still in good shape and there are lots of worms in here, so I'm just going to reuse it. But if you want, you can put fresh potting soil in to revitalize it as well. I just want to share that you don't even have to spend any money on new potting soil for this. If your soil is not anaerobic, if it's been flooded and it smells like garbage, then start with fresh soil. Basically, you're going to fill the pot back up to the very top, and I'm going to mix in some of my new soil with this. Oh, it's so heavy. It's a lot of soil. But here's what I mean. You'll fill this up all the way to the top because soil settles. And then let's go back to our roots. Find the part with the leaves above ground, and you're going to place in a triangle or a square those 3 or 4 roots all the way in the soil and bury it. This one's a lot smaller, so it doesn't take up much room. In the end, you'll have a pot that doesn't look great, but in a few weeks, this thing is gonna take off and start growing like crazy. And then it'll look like this all over again. You can do this seasonally or twice a year if you want to. You can take it apart and put it back together like this, and you'll have mint for the rest of your days. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to find out when our next video comes online, and consider becoming a Patreon subscriber to support all the free stuff that we do here at Gardenerd. Check out my books, Gardening for Geeks, Grow Your Own Mini Fruit Garden, and my novel, Garden Variety. And of course, go to gardenerd.com for way more information and helpful tips on growing stuff like mint, other herbs, all your veggies and fruits. Happy gardening!